Okay, Mum, so how did you get on last week?
Busy in New York, doing my book tour and promoting my book called There's No Sad Dogs in Heaven.
And where did you go?
Oh, all over New York. I think the most interesting one that I did was I did like 35 shows from one studio by satellite and went on all the morning shows all over the country. I found that was great, just sitting in one place and by satellite up you come and you're talking away.
Cool.
Because I was doing the radio show on Sunday. Interesting, because I had been told in the morning by Helen, my friend Helen, about dogs that play in the garden, the yard they say here, that play, and how young dogs can get tangled up in the other dog's collar, and it literally can get his mouth stuck in the collar, and it twists and it can strangle the other dog. So what I want to tell people is do be careful. And when I told them this on my radio show, a lady phoned up that had happened to her, and she said, Sonya, it happens so fast. And she had 3 golden retrievers, and 2 of them, they were young, 2 years old, and they were playing, and one of the dogs got its mouth in between the collar here and couldn't get it out and twisted the collar, and the clip-on collars are easier to snap off, but she said I couldn't get it because it was all twisted in the knot. And my dog was dying, she said, and I just ran and got the garden shears and snipped it. It took her 5 minutes to get the dog back. She did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and she said that she, kept working and working, and eventually the dog came round. So it's one of those freak accidents. So if you do have young dogs, do watch when they're playing, because that can happen, and it can kill a dog, and they literally are strangled to death. And I'd never heard of that before, but it was interesting that I talked about it at the beginning of the show. And then this lovely lady called up and told us her experience with it, which was pretty frightening. So always make sure that if you've got young dogs, keep your eye on them in the garden. Make sure the dog's collar isn't too loose or too tight, or there isn't the space in between for the other dog when they're playing rough to get it caught up in the other dog's collar. And the other thing, of course, is don't ever feed your dogs and let them run in the yard, or let them drink too much water, because this can turn their stomach and they can die that way too. So always make sure that you don't let your dogs out till a good hour after you've fed them. Or if you find one of them's drinking water and they're going out and they play rough again, that stomach can turn. All these freak accidents we don't actually think about, but it's worth keeping them in mind.